All right, it is Wednesday, November 12th, and I'm here behind the table with Sara Haines. Hello, Sara.
Hi, Brian.
I want to start with a really sincere compliment because we did I know, brace yourself.
I don't know if I'm getting punked right now.
No, you're actually not, because listen, for a very long time, the Epstein files have been in the news, and they were in the news primarily being driven by people on the right for a very long time. They were now in the news being driven in large part by people on the left that are hoping to read damning things about President Trump and Republicans. You, however, have been consistent for the entire time I've known you, saying this needs to be talked about. It's not about politics. It's about the people, the victims that went through this. And it's something you've been very true to your core about. And today, we talked about it again on the show. It's back in the spotlight where it deserves to be, I think.
Yeah.
This morning, House Democrats released a 2011 exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell discussing their relationship with President Trump. One of the things these subpoenaed emails from Epstein said was, I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. The victim, it's redacted, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Maxwell responded, I have been thinking about that. Ellipses.
Yeah.
What is your reaction to this?
I want to see even more. I think the more they've held back, the more interested I am, because I do think any massive scandal when it comes to pedophilia, going back to The Keepers on Netflix, do you remember the Catholic school? And it was about protecting people with power in communities, in countries. It's about protecting, in this case, billionaires who, even if you're not incriminated in the actual files and people are worried about association, there are billionaires that have funded so many politicians and people, and they have continually bought their own safety, while victims have, sadly, look at Virginia Giuffre, who took her own life as a reason.
Tragic.
Tragically. But these victims will never be the same. And the fact that these people in power, which that is, pedophilia is abusing the most vulnerable among us. And if we do not keep our foot on the pedal when it comes to revealing these pedophile rings and pedophiles and protecting people has gone on for years, decades, hundreds of years. In my lifetime, I look at some of the earliest kidnappings, and now as an adult, I remember faces on milk cartons. And then the knowledge comes out and you grow up and you realize that was pedophilia and rings and trafficking. And it continues to go on. We have got to all come together on an issue everyone can agree on. Pedophilia, raping, assaulting, enslaving people into sexual roles is wrong. It's bad. It has to be uncovered, because behind it is money and power.
Yeah, and it's not political. There is no other side to
There's
a debate
no other
here.
side.
This is just something that's wrong. And I think that both sides have been guilty of not pushing for it when they're worried about.
It was politically prudent when they did. I think the fact that the MAGA base has not let go of this shows, honestly, some importance of it. Yeah, to their credit.
Yeah.
This was something that always deserved a moment in the sun.
Now, that being said, that doesn't mean every conspiracy theory is real, and most of them aren't. And there's tons of fake lists out there with names on it.
Right.
And,
but that's why releasing the files.
Yeah.
Because it'll get to the bottom of false conspiracy. And if I can't even utter the words, if there's nothing to hide, why don't you show us? There's absolutely things to hide.
And most likely it goes beyond politics, because both sides have seemingly been reluctant to release everything.
Well, and also, I know there are a lot of people that I wish they understood that any association with covering this up, you are part of the problem. And I'm sure there are people that maybe, giving benefit of the doubt, didn't do anything, but associated in this circles. The problem is justice for these victims, the one little iota, it won't take back what's been done to them, but the one iota of light and hope is give them their moment where they have a voice and people back them up.
No, absolutely. Now, right now, I think it's a little after 1 o'clock. And as of the time we're recording this, the White House has not responded. I imagine they will at some point. But Trump has not been accused of any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein or Maxwell, and he's denied any knowledge of Epstein's alleged crimes. Now, Michael Wolff, who is part of these conversations. So he's one of the people that was exchanging emails with Epstein that were released today. He told ABC News that he couldn't remember the specific emails or context, but that he was a part of an in-depth conversation with Epstein at that time about his relationship with Trump. He said he was pushing Epstein at that time to go public with what he knew about Trump. The fact that he had these conversations, has written books about Trump, and hasn't talked about this before is puzzling to a lot of people.
He doesn't look good in this.
No.
When he talks about, the email goes on to say, let him hang himself, this could be good political currency. It's snaky behavior.
Yeah.
Anyone that is even somewhat associated, you don't have to be doing the act of abuse, violence, assault, whatever you want to call it, to be hiding or complicit with the fact that these rings, these pedophilia rings, survive because people don't speak up and they don't come forward. And Michael Wolff does not look good in this.
No.
He looks like a snake. And this was not out because he turned it over. It was subpoenaed. Like, this was documents that Congress had to release. So they're seeing the light of day, and every part of these files has to come out.
And as we talked about, at least there's something like 22,000 of these emails that are hopefully being released today or soon.
And these three were pretty juicy. So imagine that in 22,000, what else are we going to see? Yeah. But I do stick to the fact that I think some people are going after it because they're hoping that Donald Trump, gets indicted or something happens there that's bad. I deeply believe the transparency has to stick to the facts. There are massive billionaires involved that have been named in these trials. Billionaires have money. Money buys power. I don't want to call myself cynical, but people can be bought. And when it comes to money, that's the most powerful thing you can have. And there are multiple billionaires and financial institutions that have been, people are starting to uncover those right now.
Yeah. No, so there's going to be a lot more information coming, and we'll be talking about it for sure. But again, I just wanted to give you your propers because honestly, you've been on this, beating the drum on the air, behind the scenes here, wanting to talk about it. So I'm glad that we're able to do that.
Thank you, Brian.
We had Senator John Fetterman on with us yesterday.
Yep.
What did you think of what he had to say? I wish we had had more time with him. It was unfortunate, and he was supposed to be in studio and had to do it remotely instead.
Yeah.
What did you think? Because
I am so impressed with Senator Fetterman. And it's no surprise because he's a centrist Democrat in a purple state,
right,
that has multiple. Technically, to me, if people don't like you in when they talk about you, I probably do, because people are so partisan these days that he is not popular right now in conversations I've had.
Right.
Oh, Senator Fetterman. I think Pennsylvania should be so proud. He takes issues as he sees them. It would be much easier to just toe the company line. By company, I mean the party line, do what everyone expects, and he continually stands up with Pennsylvanians in mind as to what to do and how to proceed. And I deeply respect him for that.
And this is a state that, we talked about this yesterday a little bit on the podcast, is very different. I mean, there are aspects there are big cities, there are farms, Pennsylvania is really as purple gets. So it's got to be a hard thing to represent the sum of all those people.
He was brilliant, though. He was asked a question at one point, like, what do you say to these governors like Newsom or I forgot who else was quoted as saying, this is pathetic and you shouldn't do it. He said, well, they represent California and New York. I represent Pennsylvania.
It was Bernie, I think he was talking about.
Or Bernie, yeah. Or those are blue states. I'm a purple state. Therefore, one, my people are saying something else. And two, you need us more in an election. Like, what I'm saying actually should matter to you, you know? And I just think ever since he got there, all the challenges he's faced, how, again, he answers things so plain and simple. And I find he always makes so much sense to me. Right now, the questions that were being pushed and the Democrats that are unhappy want a resistance. They want this fight. What does that look like to a party that has no power? It kept being brought up at our table, people are going to lose their health insurance. Yeah, nothing's being done on that right now. And they're also losing food. The pain is getting worse. And those pawns are humans. They're Americans. They're hungry. They're hurting. Something had to be done, and Senator Fetterman was strong enough to stand up against his own party. And right now, it's not popular to side with the Republicans and the GOP, considering all that we've seen from them. And yet he did it anyway because he was willing to put the people, not the party, first.
Well, the interesting thing about him especially was he didn't flip on anything. He was consistently there from the very beginning saying he wanted to make a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there are, to your point, there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party, and you are an independent, as we know, who often votes Democrat.
I usually vote left, but yes, I'm an independent.
For Chuck Schumer to step down in the wake of this vote, you don't see
I loved
it that
his
way.
answer. Why are we talking about leadership?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad leadership. It was a decision that needed to be done. You know, like it's kind of like when something scandalous happens at a company and all of a sudden everyone's like, make the CEO resign. You're like, but did that solve a problem or is that symbolic rage? You know, I don't have an issue with him. And Fetterman, he was asked a second time, well, what about, Schumer? And he said, there's no point in talking about that right now. Like, this is about people.
Yeah, he sidestepped it. I mean, he didn't say, I think he's a great leader or anything like that, but
But it was almost proving his point by sidestepping it. He was saying that's not the conversation to be having right now. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I don't go straight for his day is done, he's toast. Like, that becomes, again, a chessboard where you're taking pawns and pieces. These are Americans. This is a country. These are people. These are real issues. That is not the conversation that should be had.
No, I agree with you. And it's easy to be dismissive of people that are like, yeah, benefits right out, but now they're going to put the pressure on people. But no, in the meantime, people can't eat.
By the way,
and that's
Schumer
a hard
got
thing. It's very complicated.
10 centrist Democrats that gear towards taking things case by case. I don't blame Schumer for them deciding to be strong stand-up people and choosing otherwise. That's not a leadership issue. That's people saying enough is enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, you said that when you like someone, other people generally don't. That was not the case today because we had a very funny comedian that you like a lot.
Riggle.
Rob Riggle. He was with us today. He wrote a memoir, and you said you loved it.
Well, so I'm not all the way through, but the parts I've seen, I didn't know a lot. One, I loved him forever.
Yes.
He is someone that in everything he's in, I'm like, what a friggin' hilarious guy.
He oddly once co-hosted the show. Were you here when he co-hosted?
I feel like I'd remember that.
So he co-hosted the show, came into the Hot Topics meeting, clearly was not aware he was co-hosting the show until we were halfway through the Hot Topics meeting. And he's like, so I'm talking about this stuff. It was the middle of Trump's first term. It was like things were heated and he did a great job, but had no idea what he had signed up for.
Yeah.
And hadn't been back till today. So I was glad he came back.
He's great. His whole story is great. He's from the Midwest. And I obviously I tend to think, regionally there's a relatable quality.
Sure.
Like I
love a Midwesterner.
He has such a deep patriotism. That's not only evident from his 23 years of service, but his answer at the table was, I love this country. It's the best country.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. That is how I mean, he literally spoke words to everything so many people feel, but I definitely feel. I am such a proud American, and we're not perfect, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Right.
And so to see him turn that into actual service and how he felt called, but also facing the fear of attempting a dream. He was voted most humorous in his high school. He's been funny the whole time. He's always loved this part of himself. But to go for it and to say out loud, I always dreamt of being on SNL, which I also did and never was, but this guy did.
Yeah.
He did it. And it still haunts him a little that it was only one season. But I said to him off camera, having worked near SNL as, in the building, the
sometimes
politics
you just drift
in
by
there,
still.
I said, that makes sense.
And there's plenty of incredibly talented people that didn't last on SNL.
Or didn't make it, that went on to have like ridiculous careers.
Right, of course.
He's such a modest guy. As he said, I was taught by one of the greats, Amy Poehler. I said, people probably sat there now saying, I got to be in class with Rob Riggle. Like,
sure.
He is brilliant.
He's one of those people where when you stop and think about the movies he's been in and the moments he's had in it, like 21 Jump Street is so funny.
So good.
And obviously the Hangover with the taser scene and things like that.
Oh my God. In the face.
Yeah. He's unbelievably funny. And it was...
I say pow at home.
Yeah.
So over and over. And now the kids are like, Papa, why does Mama say that? And literally Max rolls his eyes. Like, here she goes again. I'm like, pow. Like...
Now, at what age will you show them Step Brothers? That's really
we're going to need a minute.
Yeah. No, I know. So I went this week, I like showing my kids the movies I grew up with.
I know, you tell me that.
We did that through the 80s and things like that. But now that my oldest is 14 years old, we're into another era of movies. And I'm a little bit prudish about what I want to show, and my wife's just doing it anyway. And I hate it because I'm missing out on these great moments. So I'm trying to just say, okay, all right, fine, we're doing it anyway. Let's do it. So we watched Clueless this week in honor of Alicia Silverstone coming on The View this week on Friday. And it was a big hit. And then she showed her 10 Things I Hate About You.
See, it's funny. I know both these movies. I can't replay from the thought of being the parent or a kid. I don't remember.
It's very different. There's scenes in it you forget and just gloss over until you're sitting next to them. And she's like trying to seduce her clearly gay boyfriend and things like that. And I'm just...
I mean, haven't we all done that?
Sure, of course. And I'm sure she has that in her future. But it's hard. I get awkward. But so, like, what is there any movie you've shown the kids that you looked back on afterwards and was like, oh, maybe they weren't ready for this?
This is when you come in.
Yes.
So you're my, pop culture. I think you're everyone's not only IT department but pop culture like go to. Mm-hmm. I went to you about movies and I came to you about E.T.
Yes.
And I was saying, what do you think? And the consensus at the end was you're like, I think that Alec's ready to watch this. Well, what you didn't say is maybe the others aren't.
Oh, sure.
This was like a year or two ago. I dealt with nightmares about E.T. Caleb didn't grasp that E.T. wasn't the bad guy. Like, even
at the end?
Yes.
Was he cheering when he died?
But he was like thrown off. He's like, what if E.T. comes into my bedroom? I was like, you say thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, exactly.
E.T.'s amazing.
Yes.
But he missed that. And I didn't realize that was going to be problematic. Sandra didn't like the scientists.
Okay. Well, no, you're not supposed to like the scientists.
No, and at least she was on par, but that also haunted her.
What about Gertie?
Gertie was I loved, that's true.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's funny. They just didn't get it. And that brought on a lot of nightmares.
Oh, well, I'm sorry for that.
I just feel like when I call you, we have to do better.
Well, I saw E.T. in the theater in 1982 when I was 6 years old.
Yeah, but what we saw, I don't know what the heck. I don't remember ever getting to climb in with my parents every night when I was scared, but these kids are fragile.
All right, I'm sorry. What else? Have you tried like Goonies? We've
done Goonies.
We had Data on yesterday.
You know what, though?
Exciting.
They didn't take to it the way I need them to because Goonies was my go-to answer for what's your favorite movie for a good decade of my life.
I was so excited to have Key here yesterday.
What a great guy.
Such a great guy.
Kim, his producer, even said, top 5 humans I've ever met. And that says a lot when you're a producer of guests all the time.
He was so lovely. And for me, that's my childhood. Between Goonies and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, he was short round. I was so excited to meet him.
She told me so much about him, though, and his story about how there weren't a lot of roles as an Asian actor and how he pivoted. He said, I'm going to work behind the scenes. And what a joy it's been to watch him have this to
win an Oscar.
Everything Everywhere, coming back and like having that moment. You know, it's just, you can't help but
and he seems like he is appreciating it and enjoying every second of it and being happy. And he deserves it.
That gratitude emanates from him.
All right, before we're running out of time, but last Sunday, you went to a Jets game, which I love. That's exciting. Yes. I saw some of the pictures. You only brought Alec. Why weren't the other kids there?
Okay, so I met a friend. We became friends with the general manager of the Jets. We ran into each other in our neighborhood, and it's the husband, Darren Muji, but the wife, Hannah, is so great. And we power bonded because they were new to town, and she has young kids. I won't go into the personal specifics, but we bonded. Preseason, she invites us to come to the box. It's her first time going to the Jets stadium as opposed to the team before. And we were so honored. And I was like, this will be a fun experience. So the whole family goes. Caleb and Sandra threw food over the side of the wall. No. And it's not like Sandra to do that. But we got, I went in there. I was mortified. Hannah handled it like a pro. She kept saying, they're kids. It's fine. But I was like, whoa. So I kept pulling them aside, Max and I, and we're like, this is a privilege. This is a football. You will watch, blah, blah. So I said, you guys don't treat this like a privilege. You lose your privilege. She calls a week or two ago and says she has the Jets game and she wants to invite us to come. And I said, I will only be bringing Alec. And she was like, no, they're all welcome. I go, Hannah, I will only be bringing Alec. So I sat the kids down. They're like, why are you only bringing Alec? I said, because Alec's the only one that treated the privilege as a privilege. You're not invited.
As Sonny would say, consequence culture.
Consequence culture.
Yeah.
So they sat at home, and when we came home, I'll be interested to see. You only have to do that a few times with kids for them to realize, they're serious.
Yeah.
And we were serious. Because it's also a respect to them including us. It's not just teaching the kids. Alec has become a Jets fan. He's a Chiefs fan because of our family.
Right.
Jets haven't been doing great. Alec will sit there on the couch and get so excited when they won their first game.
That's great.
He waited on a Halloween party we were supposed to be at to see the Jets and was genuinely excited. And I think that's the kind of investment you make when people include you in their circle.
It's really good. I mean, to be fair, I've heard Taylor Swift also throws food out of the suite. So just...
yeah, and people probably are like catching it in their mouth and thrilled.
It's fine. For him, just as an NFL fan.
Yeah.
Let him be a Chiefs fan. It's just a happier life.
No,
I'm just telling you.
Well, he'll always love the Chiefs because my sister and my nephew, niece, they're deep Chiefs fans. They grew up in Kansas. He can love the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But he genuinely loves the Jets. And we've had a lot of speeches on if you're a good fan and a true fan, you love them when they're not winning.
Which is always.
They won while we were there. And you should have seen us like screaming and
sure
squealing. And the joy we felt, a victory is more sweet when you're not expecting it.
That's true for sure. And I'm a Giants fan. I've had that too. But
I have to be a Giants fan for Michael Strahan, but I'm now a recruited Jets fan.
Okay.
I'm getting gear. The kids have gear.
All right. You can't be both.
We're going hard.
You're going to have to pick one.
We're going hard.
You're going to have to pick one. I'm going to tell Strahan.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go.
Oh, by the way, I sent him a picture of the field when I'm there. And the first time I wrote, I promise I'm not cheating on you.
All right, before we go, we had a special edition of View Your Deal with someone that you love.
Just met him, Adir. He is phenomenal.
Adir Abergel. He's a celebrity hairstylist. Is that what we know him from? Okay. And I hear he spotlighted some of your favorites.
Well, first of all, I just have to say, I love when I meet a human spirit that you like this. Everyone said, you're going to be obsessed. And I went down, I saw him, and his light just was like, boom. And he is just a burst of positive, uplifting light. So loved him.
Oh, that's great.
But then I joked at the end, I go, he literally sold every product to me because he was so genuine in what he said. But the two products I want to focus on is the Virtue Labs. The first product was about hair care, the shampoo, conditioner, a serum. The reason being, I just had this conversation with Derek, my hairstylist here at the show.
Yeah.
We take a beating on our hair with all the heat and, when you have highlights and things like that. And they always say you got to protect your hair. Just recently I'd said, I'm worrying about the heat again because I've gone in and out of having breakage and stuff. The first thing out of Adir's mouth is if you have any issues with hair and you need it to recover from heat. And I was like, what? And he goes, no, seriously, Sarah, I work with all the celebrities. I don't know one that doesn't use Virtue.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, done. He told me about the serum, when to use it. And I was like, oh, I need this. Because there are one's a recovery set, recovery shampoo and conditioner, and it's the healing oil. The other thing was the next product, Manta, that he featured was a brush that you hold on to, and it gets your scalp, but it also detangles. And it was created by a man whose wife was losing her hair. Oh. And he had created it to be more gentle, but also to treat the scalp. And I was like, I feel like the universe is speaking to me. I just was talking about hair issues. And so I felt like they came to the rescue with these two products for sure.
All right. Well, I need to tell my family about this because my wife causes a lot of pain brushing my children's hair. So I think this is...
The fun thing about that is I've used every brush in the world because hair is such a big part of the job. This one was so smooth. I even put it on Vicky, and Vicky's, okay, I'm good. And I was like, doesn't it feel good?
I've told you to stop brushing the staff.
I know, because I wanted to prove my point, so I grabbed her head, and she's like, okay, we're good.
I can't take another HR meeting about you brushing people. All right. Find all of these products at viewyourdeal.com, where we've partnered with vendors for half off while supplies last. And thank you for joining me today, Sarah.
Thank you, Brian.
Tomorrow, brace yourself.
Is it Anna?
No. And
Is it Joy?
No.
Is it Whoopi?
It's Whoopi Goldberg on the podcast. It happens. It's like Haley's Comet. It happens once every couple of decades.
Wait, she told me yesterday, she goes, I'm doing the podcast. I go, what bet did you lose?
Whoopi Goldberg's will be behind the table. It's happening. It's also Whoopi's birthday show. And we have some stuff tomorrow.
Oh, I know some of it. I don't know all of it, and I can't wait.
It's going to be great. So tune in. Thank you, guys.